Los.
Right. Hello, everybody. Tonight's going to be a share again. I like these share interaction things, so nobody will be muted. So obviously there will be background noise, but that's okay, as long as we get the idea. The business that we are in is a people's business. You cannot have a network if you're not connecting with people. So you need to have people. And it really is a numbers game. Some will, some won't. And that's just the way the whole thing works. And it's not just our organization, it's all network um, companies. All are the same. Got to have the numbers. And they say 10% is good, 20% is better, but don't expect more. So what we need is to get a names list. We're going to start right from the very beginning. Don't worry about contacting people for about 3 or 4 days. Just write down people's names. That is what you need to do. Write down people's names. Anybody that you can think of. John's going to just give us a few ideas with his names list. Carry on.
Right. Good evening, everyone. We've all got this list for a names list generator, and sometimes it's good to provoke our minds in different channels. So if we randomly just write down names, anything that comes to mind, initially don't worry about putting phone numbers down or the area. It might be a good idea if you think of Joseph and he's in, say, Bloemfontein. Sure, write that down so that later on you can isolate the people in the different areas. Let me just go through. There's 150 names here. I'm not going to read them all, but you get the general idea. And don't prejudge. It's a good idea where you write down names. Don't say this guy will be good or that person will be poor. Let me just read these names quickly here. Florist. So think of flowers and people in that industry. Barber, electrician, radio repairman, contractor, cook, and welder. There's quite an assortment of people there. If you like, Debbie can give us a photo set or a photograph and we put it on the chat just to go through it. And go through it quite carefully and related areas. So painter, if you look at a painter, you've got plasterer, you've got the different people connected to the painter and the decorator, sandpaper. Anyone you had signage done before, start using 80% of our minds are made up of the forgettery. You've got your memory and the forgettery. I don't know if you can remember that in the beginning. So you've got to try and access your forgettery. You've got a plumber, and think of different people that's worked on your first geyser or something where you've needed a plumber. Insulation man, bricklayer, repairman. Then you go to the roofer, architect, therapist, ophthalmist, police officer. If you're a bit crooked, leave those guys out for the time being. Politician, veterinarian, dentist, optometrist, fireman, accountant, banker, doctor, and judge. I know that we got someone interested in the fire department in Amanzimtoti, and he said, "Can I bring my mates along?" And that is a little bit of a misfortune because all 37 of the fire department arrived with their bottles of beer and what have you, and it was just a roaring party. I got no names and no deal out of that lot. So be careful and be wise. Psychologist, attorney, entertainer, detective, photographer, anyone, you might know someone that liked to take pictures of dogs and cats, and she was very good at that. So maybe you might just need to give her a call again and say, do you know, would you be open to have a look? Okay.
Just go.
So now, as we're writing this down, and Debbie will put this on the chat, start looking at allied industries attached to that. You've got travel agents, watch repairman, office managers, bartender. I know we know many of those people. Furniture store owner. These are the names that you can start generating your names list. Initially, we're going to try and hit for 50 names on your piece of paper. Music store owner, newspaper editor, nursing, paternity, postal clerk, I think that's a dying trade now, printer, sales, service, dry cleaner, clothing store manager, restaurant owner or people that serve there, artists, farmer, railways, and people who like to grow their own vegetables, garden, teachers, kids, friends, parents, bridal party at weddings, lodge or club members, school board members, teachers, PTA friends, husbands' friends or wife's friends, children's friends, lunch buddies, high school principal. Write 25 names of the people who you wish to contact this week. Each week start with a fresh page, plan your phone-in times. So you put your name down, you put the phone number on, now you start researching BI, open plan. And the last one I'm leaving here before I hand over to Debbie, check your cell phone or check somebody else's cell phone. I bet you in Sean's cell phone, I will find at least 11 names there.
That's page one.
In Jenny's phone, cell phone, I think there'll probably be about 24 names because she was a teacher for over 35 years.
51.
If you look at Vic's phone address book, there's some numbers that he phoned already, and he thought, no, they didn't join. Wow, loser. But if you went back now, their seasons have changed, and they'll be ready, Vic. So this is what we're all about tonight: is restart that enthusiasm where you just know that we've got the best business for them. Start writing and put pen to paper. You've got to try and get 25 names for this week. Debbie said leave it for 3 days, but in those 3 days, try and fill up your 100 names or 150. Then we can start working properly on how to invite them. Okay, Debbie.
Yeah, I think we've come away quite a lot. What we've been doing lately is we've taken Jerry Brasfield's little saying, build one relationship at a time. That's all very well, but you need a lot of people before you can start building a relationship with someone. You can't just go to one person, get them or build a relationship. Maybe 2 years later, now you can pop the question. You know, that's going to take you forever. You're never going to get anywhere with that approach, really. So we're going to get back to when we first started. And that's the same as John and I. And this is the first place. Let's just go through it. I mean, as John was reading it, I could just relate to quite a few people. In fact, stacks of people. And so just write names, write numbers. If you've got a telephone number, that's fantastic. And it's, Vic, you're very good at this. You and Dawn, you're very good at getting people's telephone numbers, which is fabulous. But get quite a few names before you start to phone them so that you're not blown with the first 2 or 3 numbers. And just set aside a time and let's just practice this. You haven't lost anything. If people say no, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't. They're not saying no to you. they're skeptical, it's not their season, they really don't want to do anything. You don't know. You don't know what their situation is. So we just first call, and that is, are you open to look at a way? So I'm just going to kick it off, and then I'll ask you for feedback. So if I was phoning Ansi, I've got her name, and she was in Home Industries. I saw her when I bought my cake there for the weekend. And I say, hi, and Ansi, I met you the other day. I bought a cake from you. Can you remember me? I'm Debbie Cunningham. Yes, I remember you. Fantastic. Ansi, would you be open to look at a way of earning an extra income? Look, I know you're busy, but just an extra income, about 2 to 5 hours a week. That's not a lot of hours, but it can generate a good income for you. Would you be open?
Sounds very good.
Wait for a response. We don't want to just carry on.
I was thinking that is scam.
Yeah. So, and that is what we do. We actually had a lady around the other day, and she's a sales lady, and she was trying to sell us something. And we had to keep stopping and say, hey, hold on, wait. Go back to that point, you know. She was just going on and on and on. There was no communication. It was just her, you know. So, and that's all. And wait for a response. Now, if Ansi says, that sounds exciting, is that what you said, Ansi?
Oh, it sounds good.
Yeah, sounds good. Well, that's fantastic, Ansi. Look, I haven't got a lot of time right now, but may I give you a call next week sometime? What days usually suit you? Tuesdays or Thursdays? Those are my free times. Can you fit yourself in there?
Yeah, Tuesday.
Fantastic.
Sounds good. Around about 10 o'clock?
10. Let's make it 11, because then, you know, everything's settled down in the house. Super. I'll give you a call around about 11 on Tuesday. Thanks, Ansi. Have a good week. Bye.
Thank you, my dear. You too, bye.
Okay. Now, for goodness sake, this is the next thing. Write it down or put it in your diary or something. But don't forget to phone her next week at 11 o'clock on Tuesday. Because if you do, she will never trust you again, ever. So write it down and make sure you phone her on Tuesday at 11 o'clock. And next week we will carry on what you do after that. Okay. Right. I'm throwing it out to you. How would you generate names? And I don't mean one person here and one person there. I mean general.
Can I just add something there, Jenny? I mean,
Yes.
I've just, in here, in this computer somewhere, I've got a short video, and one of these nights we can maybe play it. I've got a series of them, they're all like 5-minute videos with guys who've done network marketing and made a sort of living out of it. And this guy just says that if you hit a wall, like some of us have right now, he says you've got to do whatever you can, everything within your power, and all your energy directed to signing one person. You've got to work at just signing that one person up, get one person in and get their names, work with their names. So it's a slight variation, but you know, when you get a new person in, you obviously get a new list of names. So he says, whatever you've got to do, you break your butt, but sign one person up, and from there you can move. So it's just a point.
Oh, super. Thank you, Vic. That's one way of generating names. Fantastic.
Yeah. As Don Philip says, make a friend and meet their friends.
Yeah. But don't just make a friend of one person, because, as I said, 20% will say yes. Maybe only 10 or 5 would actually go for it. So you need a lot of names. It's a numbers game. Pretty, you must have a lot of people that you can write down. All your nursing people, all your patients that you've had that are fabulous, just write their names and then go through and put numbers next to them. You don't want to tell them too much. You haven't got time and you haven't got the money to spend on phone calls. And I don't like a WhatsApp. Just phone them and ask them, say, are you open to look at a way of earning an extra income? They say yes, fantastic, I'll give you a ring next week. And that can take 2 seconds. And that's all you really need.
She's muted.
Sorry, Beauty, you must unmute yourself.
You're muted.
Pretty, sorry, Pretty, unmute. Okay,
Yes,
all right, we can hear you
I'll
now.
do that because I did send WhatsApp, but they didn't even respond or reply to that.
Right.
So I will just send them. I'll just call them.
That's right. Just call them and say, it's Beauty here. Yeah, Pretty here. Pretty here. I just want to ask you a question. Are you open to look at a way of earning an extra income? And if they say no, say, never mind, it's been nice speaking to you. Thank you very much for your time. Bye.
Mm.
If they say yes, so then you just, fantastic. Can I give you a ring next week or in 2 days' time? Which would suit you better, in the afternoon or the morning or the evening, you know? So just give them some chances and then just phone them.
Yes, I do
when you-
understand.
Yeah. And when you phone them, set up an appointment, even if it's on a Zoom. So we've got a Zoom now. That's where I want to ask Vic. Vic, we were meant to ask you last week to do this week and we forgot. So I'm asking you now. You've got a fantastic presentation plan, but it's a bit longer than our tiny little 10 minutes here and 10 minutes there.
I can
Next
shorten it.
week, on Thursday, would you be able to do your whole plan for us, please?
Yeah, I can.
Okay, from beginning to the end, so that we can all see your plan and we will take notes. Okay.
All right. Thanks.
So if anyone is interested, you've got next week, Vic is doing a talk. Fantastic. Get him
Thank
onto
you.
Zoom.
No, well done. Well
And
done.
invite guests.
Eh?
Sorry?
And invite guests.
Yes, invite guests, that's for sure. Or someone who's in the business and is not doing anything. They just need to have a bit of fire underneath them. Yeah.
All right.
Thank you, Vic.
See what I can do.
It's about 40 minutes, Vic. All right.
Okay.
So if you can make
We've
it
actually
even a
sort of-
little bit
we've-
less so that we can sign people up.
We've tried to cut that down a little bit here and there. So
That's good.
35 minutes is sort of,
That'll be good. That'll
okay.
be good.
Thank you very much.
Sounds good, yeah.
I
Yeah.
just found when we're doing presentation, and I know we jump in, and let's not get too involved with the products. I noticed in one of the presentations, they went through the price of this and the price of that. We got too bogged down in product. We know that we've got good product, but there's a time and place for a product demo. And we're looking at business presentation, and that if you're looking at basically what we're doing on a one-on-one, that's 12 minutes.
Yeah.
So if you look at all the bits and pieces, and the reason why our presentation is so long is because some people might not be interested, and by mentioning something else, you could actually key them back to interest, to raise their interest. So when we do our presentation, let's try and keep it business, and we've got that wedge of interest. You got your own personal ID, then it goes on to the company who we represent. But let's not get too hung up on the products at this stage. We know they are good products, but unless you want to recruit a whole lot of salespeople, then you can do that, and there's a time and place for that. And you might even mention some of your customers that might come on that presentation there. Okay.
And in fact, what I really would like us to maybe think about, if we have got guests on the Zoom that's listening to Vic, okay, and they're interested, say, right, without a good, without a product, the business doesn't work. You need a good product. And tomorrow night, that's on the Wednesday night, we will do a product demo. Okay, so we're pushing it. We're going to really push it so that next year we start off on our absolute high. Okay,
Yeah,
so it's just what do you think of that?
Now, yeah, look, I've always, I believe you're right when you say that without good products, the company wouldn't work. So I do bring that in that form.
That's
The fact
good.
that without decent products, and you do one or two price comparisons, that's it. But then you get off. It's not a product seminar, and
Yeah.
you have to realize that.
And maybe with that, Vic, you could just say, those who are interested in looking at the products,
That's your
we will
product,
have a products talk tomorrow.
Yeah. Okay.
And it must come straight after your talk. It's part of your talk.
Yeah. Okay. Can do that.
What do you think, guys?
Yeah, I
Yes.
think that's a good idea, DB.
Excellent.
Yeah. It's just so. By the way, in case I know it's not part of the meeting, but you know, Shane is not very well.
Yeah, we know. I've sent it out.
Okay.
Yeah, our team's all praying for her.
Yeah.
Oh no, I didn't know.
Oh, Jenny will fill you in, Norman, afterwards.
Well, someone else.
Yeah,
will
Okay.
okay. Okay. Thanks.
Yeah.
All right. So
Okay.
from that thing, now we've got our names list. We're starting to phone people. How else would you generate names for your names list?
Many ways. Sean, you actually in a good place because people come to you and they've got health issues. But do you know anybody who's tired, who has migraines, who's got arthritis, etc.,
Mhm.
under stress,
They all come to me.
sinus? That's what I'm saying. Hormonal issues, spastic colon.
And that's just the medical staff.
Menopause.
And that's just the medical staff that we're talking about. Never mind the patients.
Yeah.
Or you could say,
And
or you
just
could
put
say,
names.
who do you know that's bald? Or who do you know that can't swim?
Yeah.
Or who do you know that's short? Do you know anybody that's very short? Etc. You know, who's very outgoing? Who plays tennis? Who plays golf? Etc. Who has a degree? Who is a housewife? Then you go into your occupations, John, etc. So, and that's how it goes. You just have to think out the box.
I
Right.
just strike up a
It's
conversation
a
with
good way
people.
for new people generating names. We all forget about these excellent books we got when we got our kids, getting people started. In there's a whole lot of ways to generate names. So go back and have a look there.
And that book is
So-
available in the back office as well.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. It's important to use our tools.
Yeah,
But-
we must keep excited. That is the big key, is we have to be excited. If we're not excited, you're not going to pass that excitement on to anyone. We've got someone in the team, I'm not mentioning names because I do know they do listen to the recordings. Phoned me today and said, how do we get people started in England? So I said, well, go and send them your website and they can join on your website. And I explained everything to her. She hasn't sponsored anyone for about 4 or 5 years. She's just been using products. That's all she has. Now, suddenly, because her one downline placed a lovely big order, she's now excited. And she happened to say to them, do you know anyone else who would like the products? And it turns out, yes, I do. It's this lady in England. So, you know, excitement sells this business. It really does.
And always tell your story, but ask questions. It's amazing what
That's
happens
right.
when you start to just talk to people. And I'm
Yeah.
seeing it a lot these days where, and it is actually quite easy to spin the conversation. If you are leading the conversation, you can turn it. But if you listen to what people are saying, and sometimes you've got to listen with your eyes as well as your ears, and you watch their
Right.
body language, and you listen
Yeah.
to what they're not saying. And by doing that, you can twist the conversation to business or product.
Yeah.
And
But
you just pick up the
initially,
little keywords.
yeah. And initially, all you want to do, that comes with your second call, Sean, because that's where you're starting to build your relationship with the people who would like to speak to you again. You
Mhm.
don't want to do your whole spiel and really the people aren't interested.
Yeah.
You know,
Don't. I just say, would you be
yeah.
open to learning a bit more? And that's it.
That's
Yeah,
right.
that's it. And then you can give them set another time with
Yeah.
the telephone, because then they're expecting it's going to be a longer call.
Mhm.
So yeah,
Just remember, ask for referrals. Even though they've said no, or you've got someone that didn't join you, or they're not doing well, sit with them and just say, come on now, here's a names list generator. Let's see what we can do, and try and resurrect a few other names and work below them.
Mhm.
Always put their names under them. Never link them to yourself.
Yeah.
That's unethical, and we don't allow that. Because later on, they could say, you know what, that was my person, and you stole that person.
Mhm.
But anyway, if you can ask for referrals, and that means going back to the people that you've already spoken to and say, listen, that business I spoke to you about last year, have your circumstances changed? As I think, Sean, you said something this now about their season, it'll come up again, or it might be Vic said that.
Mhm.
So their seasons will come up again. So at one stage, they could say, definitely no, I'm all right. And they could be flush with money, but then a couple of bad deals or whatever, and then now they're open. So keep it loose. And it's a simple question. If I could show you a way that you could generate a bit of extra income on top of what you're earning right now, would you be open just to have a look? And then I like to just settle it by saying it'll take about 10, 12 minutes of your time for me to show it to you. And then if you like what you see, we can take it further. If not, we just leave it right there. So there's no
second
real
call.
pressure there
Our second call.
on your second call.
Yeah.
Just something that I picked up from Rob Sperry, I was listening to one of his podcasts earlier, and he was saying that when he called people, he said initially it was a case of, oh, I'm not going to call this one because they're too rich, or no, they're too poor, or they're too busy, or they won't have time, or no, that they wouldn't be interested in that. And he said he changed his thought pattern to saying, well, why am I offering this to them? If they've got a lot of money, they must know how to do business. Would they be interested in looking at another business to add to their existing portfolio? And if it's a stay-at-home mom, well, she would be looking for more time to spend with her kids, or more money to contribute towards the household. Not, oh, she's a stay-at-home mom and wouldn't have time to do this business. But you're looking for the reasons why they should be offered the business, as opposed to why they would probably say no.
Yeah. So initially you don't care.
It's a good suggestion,
Yeah.
Sean.
Yeah. Because initially they don't really, for you, if you've got a lot of names and they say no, well, so what? Next. You remember those, but please don't stop. We had that 6 stop develop. Can you remember, Jen? And after 6, everyone stopped. Vic, you remember, it was quite weird. They thought 6, that was it. No, get all your names, as many as you can, at least 25, please, guys. And then just phone. Are you open? Are you open? Are you open? Are you open? And you can do that in 2-3 days and then set up your times. And with your second one, that's what you take what Sean said and what John said. Yeah.
But just remember
we,
that
we were building up for that. We were on a bit of a spree to show people up. And I'd gone through a stage of quite heavily looking for names. That means, in my case, well, I talk to everyone, whether they want to or not, I talk to them. But I built up probably about 20 names, which were very good prospects. And unfortunately, they were in my phone. And I was driving down Mayville, and I got a brick through my window, and they stole my phone. So when I started, I've lost every number I had in my phone, even the ones going back many years.
Yeah, that happened to John.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sean, you are in trouble, my friend, if that happens to you.
Don't lose your phone, Sean.
That is why I have an iPhone, because it is automatically backed up to the cloud. They can take the phone. All my information is safe.
Good.
That's
Because
good.
yes, my phone is everything. And occasionally I use it to make phone calls.
You're nervous of phoning people, phone Sean or phone Vic or phone Debbie or myself or Ansi and just bounce it off them. And then it's called role playing. A lot of people, when they role play, they don't think you're role playing with them, and they think you're quite crazy. Even if you tell people what you say, you say, "Hi, Mrs. Jones," etc. You say, "I don't know any Mrs. Jones." You've got to try and let's be a little bit loose on the name, but keep it loose and move on. You haven't got time. In fact, when you phone someone, say, "Listen, I've been thinking about you, but I haven't got much time right now." And if you hurry your voice a little bit, they'll appreciate that you're a busy business person and you haven't got time to sit and chat about the weather. Say, "Listen, I haven't got much time right now, but I just thought of you with this incredible opportunity or incredible, unique way to generate extra income. Would you be open?" And they can only say yes or no. If they say, "Well, what's it about?" Do what Charlie said. I know I haven't been that brave with what Charlie says. Charlie says, "I never asked you what it was about. I just asked you if you would be open or not." And that would be the right way to do it. As you said, Sean, you've got to take control of that interview or that meeting in the beginning. If you allow it to wander wherever, you're going to lose it.
Yeah, you don't want to get onto a friendly chat. And I think a lot of people do that with their first phone. Because they're nervous, they say, "How are you doing?" And then you carry on about this problem and that problem and this car, that electricity and water and all our challenges. No, your first call is, are you open to look at a way of earning an extra income? That's it, not even products. Okay. So that's our homework for this week. Get your names down, and if you can, start phoning. And Vic, thank you very much for next Thursday. Should we make it at 7 o'clock so we don't run too late? Or do you think that our time is right?
We can do
I
7.
live here. I'm not immigrating, so whatever time.
Okay, 7:30. By then you've put Charlie to bed.
No, the problem is 8 o'clock, like it's now. It's 8:05. She's going to come in here any minute from now.
He does too.
You heard her last time. So it's a bit of a challenge, but she's getting older.
Super. You can catch